In the day of 3rd August 1960, the country of Niger received her independence. It's not coincidence that yesterday we were here talking about what is happening in Niger and how much all of Africans and African descendants must stand and fight for our people of Niger. Well, today, it is August 3rd, 2023. 63 years later, the country is still fighting for her independence. Maybe you're asking yourself, shall we then celebrate our independence? Yes. The people of Niger, do you think today they remember her independence and celebrating across the street? Let me tell you this, that today the people of Niger, they're fighting for their nations. They're outside protesting, outside marching, outside wanting to see a breakthrough for her country. But the sad thing is, ECOWAS, they're putting sanction on Niger. The sad thing is, friends, they're still holding on to Niger. The sad thing is, United States, they still want to hold on to Niger. The country that is number 7 in the world producer of uranium, the country that is giving electricity to France every single year, while the majority of population of Niger, they don't have electricity. The country that has been sustaining other Western countries for a long time, yet is still struggling for her own independence 63 years later. My call today is that it is important for all Africans to start looking at our countries as one Africa. When we look at one Africa, when we look at it as a one Africa, we're not gonna settle. We're not gonna rest. We're not gonna calm down, but we're going to fight with everything we got to make sure that we redeem our people from the shackle of colonialism. Kwame Nkrumah said, the independence of Ghana means nothing if the rest of Africa won't have independence. And I'm afraid to say that the independence that we see in most of our countries are not real independence. Yes, our forefathers, they fought those colonizers, but today we still have economic slavery. We still have neo-colonialism. And most of the African countries that were colonized by France are still under the yoke of colonialism under France. It is the time for us as an African to stand today in August 3rd, 2023, to fight together with the people of Niger. Because my wish is that our kids and the next generation, 63 years later, they will stand and celebrate the true independence that happened today in August 3rd, 2023. My message to the people of Niger, Africa is standing with you. Snow, we are here with you. We ain't gonna let you guys stand alone. And my message to ECOWAS is that this is the time for you to choose you now. Who are you going to stand with? To choose you now. Who are you going to side with? Are you going to side with France? Are you going to side with the USA? Or are you going to side with the people of Niger? Because the people of Niger, they are speaking. Today, in the day of independence, they're outside marching for their independence, wanting to see the new bright day in Niger. It is your responsibility to stand with the people of Niger and not to put sanction on them, because when you put sanction on Niger, who is being affected? Not the leaders, but the common Wananchi, the ordinary folk of Niger. They're the one who are struggling with the sanction that you're putting. It's a time that I'm calling upon all the countries of Africa, the countries in the West Africa. Man, do not turn your back of Niger. These are your people. Most of our people are living there because Africa, all these artificial borders we have, they're not real borders. They were placed here by colonizers because they wanted to divide us. And their own had one rule: to divide and to conquer. The more we keep entertaining these borders, the more they're going to conquer over Africa. We cannot allow that. If your neighbor is not at peace, you can never be at peace. If one country in Africa is struggling today and fighting against ECOWAS, I'm telling you, tomorrow your country will be struggling against ECOWAS. It is the time for Africans to address straight to these organizations like African Union and ECOWAS and to ask them straight into their eyes, are you there for Africa, Or do you have another agenda? If you're not there for Africa, then we no longer want you, because we're going to stand as the people of Africa and defend and protect the dignity and the heritage of our countries. Because if you're not bringing development to Africa, if you're not bringing the change to Africa, then what are you bringing to Africa? Today we see our people. Last year we saw the people of Mali being sanctioned by ECOWAS, and they struggled and a lot of people died. Today the same thing is happening. I wonder, why are you even there? African Union, why are you even there? You can't just stand and put sanction because of the coup government. But let me ask you this, why there have been a rising of coup military authoritarian in the western part of Africa? What are you guys have been doing? Why that has been happening all the time? If you guys are doing your job, maybe things would have been different. But the people of Africa, the ordinary folk, we are tired with the puppet governments. We are tired with the government that are not there to work for the people, but working for their own agenda. And we want to see change. We want to see prosperity in our countries. We have everything that we have. We have everything that we need. We have all the resources. We have uranium. We have oil. We have gold. But nothing is there for ourselves. Nothing is there. Nothing is saving us. Why is that? So today my call is that African Union, ECOWAS, and every single African inside the continent and outside of the continent, it is the time to stand with African countries, man. You cannot celebrate while your neighbor is mourning. If your neighbor is not at peace, you cannot be at peace, because Africa is one big family with 55 different children, 54 countries in the continent, and one diaspora all across the world. I'm calling upon all Africans to join our hands together, to unite together, to stand together, to raise our voice together, because if these organizations have failed us, then we must stand and address them, and we can change it, because they ain't the one to determine and to decide how we should live. But God has given us life and this opportunity. This air that we breathe today, it is the gift that is coming from God, and we cannot let anyone to take it away from us. It is the time, and the time is now. Choose you now, Africa. Choose you now, ECOWAS. Choose you now, African Union. Look at the people. Look at the people. People, they want to see change, and people, they're making it change right now. The plan has just taken off. It's the time for you guys to join us and to move ahead with us. And it is a time for us not to look after these organizations, because if they're not serving for the interesting of the people, for the interest of the people, then we better take matter on our own hands. And I'm not here to tell anybody to be violent. I'm not here to tell anybody to act violent, but I'm here to tell you guys that it is the time for us to stand for ourselves, because we have lost. The blood has been shedded for so long in Africa. And this land is crying, is pleading for change. Some of you lost your brothers and sisters, lost your parents, lost your relatives, lost your leaders. It is the time for us to stop it and to say no more death in Africa. And until then, we will fully celebrate our independence. Happy Independence Day, Niger. Not only what happened 63 years ago on August 3rd, 1960, but what is happening today on August 3rd, 2023. God bless you.